Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you how to make these cute color changing tumblers. I'll have links to everything I can possibly link below, and these are for Valentine's Day for my kids. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. So the first thing we need to do is go to Design Space, and this is where you create everything that you use for your Cricut. And I need to get a text box, so I'm just going to click on the T on the left. A text box will appear, and then I can start typing his name. And it is Quentin with a W. And then I'm going to go up to make sure it's highlighted, and then I'm going to go up to the color changing block and click a light blue color, because that's what color the vinyl is going to be on his cup. So I like to do that so that I have a visual whenever I'm designing on Design Space, just kind of what I'm making. So now that we have that, we're going to do something new, and it's called an offset. So the offset is located above the 4-inch mark on the top line. And if you click on that, another window will appear. So you have this little window, and it gives you some options. So the first option it gives you is a little toggle that you can pull left or right. And that toggle will make the offset big behind your item, or it'll make it super close to your item. I like mine pretty close. I just like a little offset. Or you can type in on the right hand side how close you want it if you're really good with math and decimals. I am not, so I just pull it back and forth until I get what I want. Then you have the option to make the corners rounded or squared off. I like mine rounded. If you look at the Q here, the rounded one just kind of gives it a more flowy look, where this squared off one gives it more of a boxy look, obviously. And I like the rounded off one, but it depends on what you're making. So the next option, it says Weld Offset. I'm going to leave that on because I want the weld, I want the entire piece to stay as one. I don't want individual letters with an offset. I want the whole entire image as an offset. So here I'm going to show you that if you do a weld with the offset turned off, this is what it's going to look like. So you can pull your name away, but each individual letter is going to have its own offset, and I don't want that for this project. Now maybe if you were making a bulletin board letters, or you're using paper to cut out, but for me this just wasn't what I needed. So I'm going to make sure that that weld offset is highlighted whenever I'm applying the offset to the design. So now it's 2 pieces, and we can move that out of the way. Oh, I'm going to change the color first, and then we can move it out of the way and do my daughter's. So her name is Jasmine. I'm just going to make another text box, and I'm going to type her name, and I'm going to do basically the same thing. I'm going to go up to above the 4-inch mark to the offset option, click that, and make sure that it's the same distance as what I'm happy with like Quentin's. And then I'm going to go in and make sure that I have it clicked to the rounded corners. I want my weld offsets highlighted, and then I can click apply. So offset just kind of gives I kind of call it like a highlight. It just pushes the image out towards you that you want to highlight. So in this case, I want it to be their names, so I want the offset to be a different color behind it. So now for Jasmine's, I'm going to make her name the green color, and the offset I'm going to make the light blue. So they're just reversed. And I'm really happy that I did that, by the way, guys. Whenever you see the ending video, I'm really glad that I made hers with the blue in the back. So now that that's ready to go, I'm going to just pull them off to the side. And at this point, if you're using your Cricut Explore Air 2, you are going to want to preset your dial to just vinyl. So I would suggest doing that. Make sure if you have multiple machines, the machine you want selected is properly selected. And we can now size our images. So I know that I want the image to be 3 by 1.5. So the first thing that I want to do is come down and unlock my image right here. So we're going to click unlock, and then we can go up and type the size that we want. Remember, after typing the size you want, you have to click enter, or it doesn't apply it to the design. And then we're going to click 1.5 inches high, click enter, and then it will also apply that to the design. And then we're going to go down and do the same to Quentin's name. So when you're highlighting these, make sure that you're highlighting the entire thing, because if you were just highlighting the name, it would get smaller, but the offset would stay larger. So make sure you're selecting both the front and the back image. Okay, so we have to unlock Quentin's as well, and then we can do the design. So here's what it would look like if you click Make It on your Explorer machine. You would have Quentin's cut out for the back of his name, so the offset, and you would have Jasmine's name or whatever name you apply to yours. And then on the blue mat, it's going to have Jasmine's offset and Quentin's name. So since I'm not using my Explorer Air 2 just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to be using my Cricut Joy. I'm going to cancel this out, and I'm going to go back to the page, and I'm going to switch machines. I'm going to click just cancel, then it'll say, do you want to cancel this? I click yes, and it will take me back to the original page. I'm going to click machine that I want. It says Explore right now. I want to change that to Joy. So it's just straight across from your canvas over by your Make It button. You just click there, and I'm going to click my Joy. So once you click your Joy and it searches for it and it finds it, then you're going to start applying for your mats. So here I'm just clicking that I'm going to use the mat. I'm going to click done, and now it's showing me what size of material I need to cut to fit on the mat. So when you are cutting material for your mats, I know some people say leave it on the roll, you use less vinyl. I find that I don't. I find that I end up wasting more or cutting something I shouldn't have cut off because I didn't see it. For me, it's easier to cut the piece first. And here I'm just showing you that I'm clicking the permanent vinyl because that's what I want to cut with the Joy. Again, on your Cricut Explorer 2, you would have put it on just regular vinyl, your dial. Okay, so when I say cut the pieces, I mean, if you have a piece that is 5 inches long by 3 inches and you have a piece of vinyl that's 12 by 12, you're not going to want to cut a chunk of 5 inches off. You're going to want to cut the smallest cut first, which is the 3 inches, then turn the piece around. So you have your 3-inch piece and you have your 9-inch piece. So you cut a 12 by 12 in half, you got a 3 by 12 and a 9 by 12 now. Once you cut your 3 inches off of that 12 by 12, you're going to then turn the 3-inch piece and you're going to cut it at 5. So that's just a little tip for saving vinyl. You can look at the mat, see what you need to cut, and then cut it at that. If you put it in the upper left-hand corner like it shows on the mat, you won't have any issues at all. So this color changing vinyl has a plastic thin carrier sheet on top. I'm leaving that on it until I cut it to the size I want, just because I don't want the piece that I'm not using today to lose that piece of plastic on it. And this is what I mean by the 3 by 5. So I'm gonna, or 3 by 4. So I cut the 3 inches off of the 12 by 12, and now I'm gonna cut my 4 inches off of that. And here's a little piece that was bugging me, I'm sorry. So now I'm just going to cut it. It is a little bit harder. You got to figure out what pressure to cut it at, because it is has that little thin carrier sheet over top, has like a protective sheet. And at some point when I'm doing this, guys, my camera doesn't record a portion of it, so I apologize, but it is the part that is not recording is finishing the cuts, me waiting, and me putting it on the transfer tape. If you haven't seen that, I have videos up of using transfer tape, and at this point I just wanted to finish my designs because we're expecting a snowstorm, and we just had a lot going on, and I didn't want it to take much longer to get things accomplished, because stay-at-home mom, homeschooling mom, run a business mom, I have to really plan my time out. So this one was just something I had to move on and do. I didn't go back and re-record it for you guys, but if again you need to see it, I have other videos up on it. So now I'm cutting this piece as well. And what will happen is before I put it on the mat to cut, I will take that clear plastic cover off. And the other thing I want to talk about, I almost forgot, is when you are putting regular vinyl, meaning not heat transfer vinyl, regular vinyl on a mat, you're going to put it vinyl side facing you, because you want it to cut exactly like the design is, because you have to put a transfer sheet on it and put it to use to put onto another item. If you're using anything with a transfer sheet, heat transfer vinyl, anything like that, that goes shiny side down. So you're not going to see the vinyl that you're cutting. You're going to see the back of it. So that happened in another video where I flipped red heat transfer vinyl upside down and the backing was white. That was just the color of that backing. You always want to put, if it has a carrier sheet on it, you want to put the carrier sheet, which is shiny side down on the mat. But if you're using permanent vinyl, there is no carrier sheet, and that's why you need the transfer paper. You're going to put that vinyl side facing you, and the backing of the permanent vinyl goes against the mat. I hope that cleared up anything, because I know that was a huge question. I got a lot of questions on that between Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and just people in general that I work with like on a teaching basis. So all we're going to do here is, we already had it on our transfer tape. We're just going to pick a spot, and what I did was cleaned it with rubbing alcohol, if I missed that. Cleaned it with rubbing alcohol. I got that little container at the Dollar Tree, and then I'm just putting my first layer down. So because there was nothing else on the cup, it's just a plain cup, I didn't have to worry about anything. I could just pick a spot and put it on. Now, if there were designs or something, you may have to work around designs, but this one didn't have that. And now we're going to put on the layer. So what I use is a piece of parchment paper and a longer piece of transfer tape. So that way there I can make almost like a hinge on between the parchment paper and the transfer tape. So what I'm doing is able to move around my design so that I know that I'm putting the layer exactly where I want it before I commit and then can't pull it back up. So all you're going to do is you hold down the transfer tape and make that hinge, and then pull the parchment paper out from it, and then you're going to get a perfect layer. So now you can just pull the transfer tape up and you're done. So again, for Quentin's, I'm just going to do the same thing, clean it with the rubbing alcohol, and this is just to remove anything from fingerprints excuse me, to dirt, to something that got on it from the manufacturer. And we're going to lay the design, the offset down first, excuse me, and then we're going to layer the like the clear blue that it's going to turn out to be. And again, we're going to use the parchment paper. So you're going to lay the parchment paper down, put your design on it, but you're going to leave some of the transfer tape off so you can make a hinge. Then you're going to move it around till you get it where you want it. And then you'll see with my right thumb, I just hold it down in the place that I want the transfer tape to stick to. Or I didn't do it that time. It's with Chazzy's. But I'm holding it down like it's sticking to the actual cup. And then you can just lay it down and peel it off, and you have it perfect. So now we are going to just fill them with water so you guys can see how cool these are. So I just have cold water from the tap, and I'm going to pour it in. And it says it may take a minute, but it's like almost instant. It changes. I think this looks really cool because it's almost like camo, and my son's a hunter, so he I think he'll like the camouflage the look it gives. And Jasmine's turns out so pretty with the purple and green. Oh, I love it. I think they turned out really good. I think they're really gonna like them. So that's it, guys. I don't have much more about layering that I was gonna teach. So if you guys need any more information on layering, I can absolutely do it. Just comment down below and let me know. Otherwise, like and subscribe, follow us on Facebook. I'll have links below, and definitely check out some more of my videos. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you all have a great day. Stay safe, stay warm, and stay healthy. Bye.